Welcome back. We are skipping quite a bit ahead today. All you need to know is that it has been a year since I played the game, and that I've beaten clone versions of these two separately before, but I only remember like one move. I'll explain more at the end of the video. If you're joining us for the first time, I'm sharing my first playthrough of Elden Ring, and I intend to do this without summons, magic, or cheesing. Without further ado, let's get good. First up is the Misbegotten Warrior. They have a free-form fighting style which challenges my adaptability. This is what I figured out. Most of his moves are easy to react to. There's the double lunge, where he overshoots his first lunge, then jumps back at me. I love to see this. I just dodge when he jumps at me, wait for the second attack, and then get my free punish. There's a small lunge, where again I just dodge when he jumps at me. These moves have a very distinct wind-up, so I can easily recognize them. Now let's talk about his combos. He doesn't have traditional combos. Instead, he has starter, linker, and ender moves, or a set of moves he can start, continue, or end combos with. For example, he can start with a double diagonal hit and then do any of his finishers. Here he does his two-handed downswing finisher, and here he chooses the piercing ground finisher. He can start these combos with moves such as the double diagonal downswing, the diagonal upswing, a double claw attack, and a long-range swing followed by a claw attack. And the different finishers are a piercing ground finisher, a delayed upswing into a two-handed downswing, a jump attack where he holds his sword horizontally, and a double sword swing. When actually playing, I didn't have any of this starter-ender combo theory. I'm just confused. The combos aren't predictable. I quickly catch on that each move won't help me predict the next one, so I just dodge until I see an ender. Luckily, most of the moves have natural looking windups, so I can just react dodge. And even up until the end, I couldn't recognize all the different starters. I just saw sword and claw attacks. Around my 20-second run or 26 minutes in, I can dodge the moves with around an 80% success rate. Although the delayed attack did take a little longer for me to get used to. I can't just dodge when it's his turn to attack or I'll get hit. The actual swing is too fast for me to react to. Instead, I just wait a little bit and then preemptively dodge. It only takes around 10 more runs or 18 more minutes to get used to. The double claw attack also gave me some trouble. I was dodging every which way but still taking the second hit. Sporadically, I could fluke dodging both. It finally clicked that the sweet spot was rolling in and left. From then on, which was 50 minutes in, or my 43rd run, I could consistently dodge this. Very rarely he does the horizontal sword jump twice in a row. I only saw this like 5 times total though, so I just kept treating it as a terminal move. And I was never able to figure out when or why he does the second jump. I struggled a lot with the double swing finisher. This move ended most of my runs, as it comes out very quickly and does a lot of damage. I first tried dodging left, but always got hit by the second swing. Even after dodging the first hit and spamming dodge, I would still get hit by the second hit. And it was the same when I dodged right. I saw mixed success with dodging out. What I didn't notice was when I was further away from him to begin with was when I was dodging both attacks. Because I didn't know that, I kept rolling the starters left, which didn't increase the gap between us. I beat him before I could figure out how to counter this move, and was still rolling the first strike left or out, trying to figure it out. Now let's talk about what the Crucible Knight has been doing this whole time. I believe he spawns after a set amount of time, which is usually around when I get the Misbegotten Warrior to half life. He seems to be a noble knight, as he approaches very slowly, letting me duel the Misbegotten Warrior. I know I won't last long against both of them at the same time, so I'm pressured to fight in the front half of the stage, trying to quickly down the Misbegotten Warrior. Fighting only here doesn't work though, and I end up losing a handful of runs, getting double teamed near the entrance. Eventually, I learned to run away when the knight was closing in, and bait the warrior away so we can continue to fight one-on-one. Besides a couple times where he backstabbed me because I wasn't tracking him, fighting them both at the same time wasn't really a problem. Now, back to the Misbegotten Warrior's moves. He has a stomp into 2 spin attacks. At first, I'm trying to dodge the spins individually, and keep getting hit by the second swing. Around my 23rd run, or 26 minutes in, I accidentally roll into him, dodging both swings. I easily get consistent results dodging into this sweet spot. By just looking, you can tell that you only need to dodge once. But since it's been working, I keep rolling twice. After an hour later or 41 more runs, I finally trust my eyes and drop this bad habit. Next up, he two-hands the sword and delays his swing. The delay throws off my timing, as his other moves require immediate rolls. I eventually realize that the tell on this move is that he two-hands the sword. Once I see that happening, I know to wait a little, then proactively dodge. It's a proactive dodge as I'm not fast enough to react to the swing. A few times, I confuse this with the previous move since he two-hands the sword for the spins. It was around my 20-second run or 26 minutes in that I got comfortable with this move. Since my attack seems to stagger the warrior, cancelling his attacks, I think it would have been possible to just keep hitting him. But that feels like a cheap way of winning, so I don't do that. The first time I defeat the warrior is my 25th run or 30 minutes in. And around 15 minutes later or by my 35th run, I could consistently beat the Misbegotten Warrior, taking roughly a minute to beat him. Now on to the Crucible Knight. His moves are slower in comparison, but he has a similar free-form fighting style. With short attack windows and long combo strings, I'm never sure if he's done attacking or not. Just like the Misbegotten Warrior, he doesn't have any true combos, but rather a bunch of starter, linker, and enders. And just like before, I'm thrown off as the next move is not predictable. I quickly realize I can employ the same strategy, dodge until you see an ender. Most of these moves had intuitive windups, so I can easily react dodge them. Some of his starter moves are linker moves, or used mid-combo. So let's just say his starter and linker moves are a horizontal lunge, diagonal sword swings, and a stomp. All these moves had natural windups, so I can dodge them by just reacting. The mix-up he can do is slashing diagonally once instead of twice, or even chaining them back to back. This doesn't throw me off though because I'm just react dodging. His enders were a delayed upswing, a thrust, a downswing into 2 spinning attacks, and a horizontal slash. Most of the enders I can also intuitively dodge, although I did have some trouble with the delayed attack, because like all delayed attacks, they break the rhythm. I countered this move the same way I did with the warrior. I simply see the sparks, wait, then preemptively dodge. Around run 71, I noticed that he changes his stance before doing this attack. After I confirm the theory, my 90% dodge rate goes to basically 100. While the combos weren't set in stone, he really likes to do stomp, downswing, into double spin a lot. On my 44th run, which is like the 5th time I actually got to fight him, he gave me a class as he kept doing the combo back to back. This really solidified the pattern in my head. Anytime he does the downswing, he seems to always follow up with a double spin. So I went from not being sure which attack was coming, to being able to anticipate the double swing. Initially, I aimed to dodge into the same pocket as the warrior's double spin move, but eventually realized I just have to roll in. He loved to do this move, and I grew to love to see him do it. About the horizontal slash ender, I'm not even sure if it's a true finisher or not. It doesn't really look like one, and sometimes he goes right into another attack. Either way, it seemed like there was a punish window. I noticed this after around 35 minutes that I could consistently get to the knight. Ender or not, I'm punishing this move and getting away with it. Next, he has a delayed shield lunge. I could kind of see the weight shifting in his shield, so I didn't have much trouble learning the timing on this one. Once you get him to half health, he'll go into his second form, which he always starts off by flying at you. It's really easy to dodge, although I did get too comfortable and lost a run to it once. After that, I respected the move and always backed up, making it easier to time the dodge. Another new move is the tail spin. It comes out faster than his other moves, so it trips me up at first. With its distinct windup, I quickly adapt. I think of it as a new ender. I also take note that because of this move, it seems the horizontal slash is no longer punishable. That's okay because I can just punish this one. Finally, he does a double tail sweep from far away. Besides the brief pause before the second sweep, it's pretty natural to dodge. Let's talk about some of the runs. I made the rookie mistake of bringing 45,000 runes into the fight. It's not a lot, but a level up right now is only 25,000. In some cases, I have to fight for the runes and waste time. The runes are another reason why I want to stay in the front half of the stage, which can end up with me getting double teamed. I know I should let them go, but I can't. In run 34, we keep fighting on my runes and I die. I'm finally released from rune prison, and I can just focus on fighting. It's a blessing in disguise. After my first prolonged battle with the knight, it was a little jarring fighting the warrior. I got used to the knight's slower tempo and was surprised by the warrior's speed. I'd get hit by the quicker moves that I didn't have trouble with before. I kept this in mind going forward. In my 65th run, I got the knight down to 10% health. I was getting close. In my 70th run, I got him down to like 1 health, but I ended up choking at the end. Seven runs later, I defeat them. I'm following the same basic strategy as always. Stay in striking distance and wait for a punish window. It's actually the warrior that ended most of my runs, with a double slash attack. In this particular run, I tanked that move once. I stay aware of the knight's presence and bait the warrior away whenever he gets close. After the warrior is down, I take things with the knight slowly and methodically. I make sure to keep my health high and even end up using my last potion. It takes 77 runs or 125 minutes, and after dodging 2 more tail sweeps, it's over. GG! So, why did I do a time skip? I just wanted to see how fast I could make a fresh video. I started working on the Margit video in September of 2023, but I would just play the game instead of making the video, so I had to promise myself that I wouldn't play again until I finished, and it took a little over a year to do that. I do plan on covering the bosses that I skipped. Your thoughts on the gameplay or how I can improve the video are welcome. Did you beat them with a different strategy? Thanks for watching.